And there we go, we are now live. I thought I basically might as well start so we don't get that song halfway through again. Hello everyone, welcome to the usual Sunday stream. And welcome back to the Lagoon Park. I'm just going to make sure I can see chat. Lovely. Hello Jacob, how are we all doing this Sunday? I'm just going to have some Pepsi and vodka. Yeah, very nice. Hello Joshua, 42 ostriches. You just got Ark. Oh, I wish you luck, Jacob. Hello, Ecats. Glad you're doing okay. So, a few things. And I just want to show you guys this. So, the new update has introduced some really shocking frame rate issues. And I just want to show you guys this. So there is absolutely nothing wrong with down here. But if I go too close, can you see how much that is now suddenly lagging? Like, how bad that lag is. Yeah. And I double-checked it was not my computer. I can put this down to potato settings, like put everything down to ultra low settings. That frame rate loss is still there, so it's not my rig, it's the game. And apparently this new update has introduced a lot of these problems for people. PlayStation 5 owners, apparently the game cannot run for about more than 20 minutes without it overheating the console and causing it to crash. So it does seem like there are some problems with this update that need to be addressed. But we're going to do our best to get through it. As you might notice, the statue mod is back, so I've done a little bit of statue work and I've installed this. It's called Aged Bronze, and I think it looks absolutely brilliant. Much nicer than this sort of that really sort of one color textured rock that the statues normally have. This is quite nice. So we've got a few Brachiosaurus over this side. We've got some Parasaurolophus over on this side. And just at the entrance, I've given our fountain a little Nothosaur. And yeah, everything else is pretty much as it was when we finished last week. The only thing I've done is put in this little bathroom with a nice little towery sort of arrangement around it. And this is where the next part of this park is going to come out from. And we've got these sunken obelisks, some foliage, and I've gone for the a lit yellow-blue mosaic on the wall. Hey Fletcher, any tips on how to deal with the spawn camping engineers in TF2? Lots of missiles. So, now I wasn't decided upon what I'm going to put in this enclosure. I think when we were last doing this last week, I suggested maybe a mixed enclosure of ichthyosaurs and something else. Since it is quite a big boy. But we could also make this Shonisaurus as well. Oh, I should point out, actually, I also have... we also do have the giant Prognathodon species of Mosasaur that we can use as well as a modded species. So... Oh, sorry, I'm just getting comfy. Ichthyosaurus and Shonisaurus, right? The biggest and the smallest ichthyosaurs in game. That might work quite well. One thing I do want to do with this is make good use of a lagoon viewing dome for this particular enclosure. Prognathodon and Ichthy to show the circle of life. We'll decide on species in a minute. So I wanted there to be a lagoon viewing dome here for this particular one, but I also thought about maybe having viewing galleries, so you don't have the not the arched sort of up and downy ones, but have the aviary lagoon galleries, just to have a slightly nicer view. The only problem with that is if I have them along this edge, I'm going to have to dig down quite a bit. Let's have a look. How far down would I need to go? That... it's quite far. How does that look when it comes to the galleries? So, when it comes to the galleries, they're just about under. I mean, that would kind of work at that height. So if we go with that height, and what I'm actually going to do is dig out most of the rest of this, so we can have actually quite a deep area here. And when it comes to connecting it up here though, I think I'm going to... let's just have a think. Okay, and then if we grab a path and have it going down like that, and then have it go like that. And then we can just smooth out this area. To make it less of a incline. How does that look? That's all right. And we could do something with this area up here, maybe have like a something special, not sure yet. But that is fine. Let's make sure that is like so. All right. Fletcher, did you know 2 Edaphosaurus mods came out on the same day? Yes, so I saw those 2 Edaphosaurus mods. I think both of them are pretty limited, shall we say. So I decided that I would get neither. Like, I'm trying to use fewer mods, actually, apart from sort of stuff by Kyadenic in that. I'm actually trying to use fewer mods, just to... I guess... because I don't really think, unlike the first game, this game actually needs that many mods. Like, apart from Kyadenic's Move It mod and Free Build and that sort of thing, we're pretty good. In terms of decorations, we're pretty good in terms of species, we're pretty good in terms of park design. So I don't actually think we need that many mods for this one. Hello, Dinosaur Mayhem. Right, so let's put in our viewing galleries. And what I want to do is I kind of want to have this area of the gallery, of the lagoon, sort of as like a rest area away from people. So I'm going to put the viewing areas down here. We're going to have one in the middle, because that is part and parcel of a zoo design. You always want an area where there are no guests or sort of guest structure, you know, somewhere where the animals can go to just sort of de-stress. And that's what we're going to use this end for, of the exhibit. And what I think I might do is also try and cover it with some monorail if I can. We're going to stick to using the pinkish coloured path. Pinkish? It's more of a peach, isn't it? For the guest areas down here. This is obviously not going to be able to, because we got this terrain here. So this will be trees. We'll have it end there. And what I'm going to do is just fill it in with some of the light brown. Or I say light brown, it's actually quite dark brown. Actually, I think maybe replace with the grey and that grey. Okay. We'll replace this with the light grey, because this is quite dark naturally, because we don't have much light here. So I want to make it lighter on the path color there. Yes, the Kyodenics mod is the Wii toolbox. It is very useful. I can't get the dinosaur scarring to work properly, but I've asked Kyodenic how to do it on his Nexus page. I'm waiting until Frontier releases the last DLC to use mods, and only new species and more decoration mods. I mean, that is a pretty good thing to do, Gajira. I've had a number of parks be broken because I've used modded stuff in there that mod content creators just haven't updated, so I can never, you know, reload the save and stuff. It would be nice if Frontier made more carnivore feeders that dispense different animals, and the carnivores had preferences that are satisfied by the correct feed animal. Interesting you should say that, Gajira. I'm actually planning to do a video on sort of 5 ideas for free updates they could introduce, and one of those ideas is to reintroduce the paleobotany system from the first game, bring back herbivore feeders, bring back feeding herbivores specific food items, and to add carnivores to that as well, so give carnivore feeders and lagoon feeders the ability to change what they produce. Right, so we're going to make this a guest plaza. But we're going to have a bit of path straight down the middle. So we're going to have 2 guest plazas here. And we'll have the entrance for the viewing dome down here as well. So, viewing dome. And I think what I'm going to do is place the viewing dome quite far away from the galleries, because we want the dome to be a sort of gallery-free have a gallery free view. So I think I'm going to place it here. And then the entrance, which I think I'm going to use the Jurassic Park entrance for this. Oh, that would fit. Or shall we put it... Where do we think? I'm kind of tempted to put it like here next to the gallery. If it would stop auto snapping. Jesus. I don't understand why they've done this, okay? Why do we want them to snap to the side of the lagoon? I don't get it. Because they don't create anything on the other side. Such a stupid idea. You think tucked in the corner would be good? The only problem with that is for it to actually, like, fit where the path is. It's actually going to take out quite a lot of the, You know what we could do? Let's, you know, let's make sure it's flat on, Z. And then what we can do is with just this, we can just move it. So that's how it would look basically here. Or we maneuver it and have it here next to the gallery. What do people think? Or we could put it, you know, somewhere more distinctive, maybe in the middle. People are saying they're happy with this. Okay, what I'm going to do is try and connect it up to these flower arrangements there. So it kind of looks like it's meant to be there. I'm just going to make sure it's not poking through. It is not. And then we can extend this path. And I'm going to basically create a little garden-like affair next to it. Going to path that in. There we go. And then this area I want to turn into like a little, like a statue area for whatever animals we put in there. So I'm just going to color this in as the white sand, so I know that it's going to be a statue area. Now we obviously need some amenities down here as well. So I'm thinking... I mean, we've got enough room actually down here for... You know, that's not very far off giving us enough room to having another lagoon in here. Or we could put a conventional dinosaur species in here. What do people think? Squeeze another lagoon in here, use it for a dinosaur exhibit, or use it for like guest area, amenities, etc. Conventional dino. Okay, so we'll use this for a conventional dinosaur because they've got quite a good view from up here, haven't they? So let's see then. Let's just pop in, because I suppose what the conventional dinosaur exhibit could basically come up to this line here, and they've got a little bit of high ground. But we won't use anything that's too exorbitant. So nothing too huge, I don't think. going to need to level it out a bit. Something kind of small and quite friendly, I'm thinking. Since we're in a desert, potentially we could create an animal that has like you know, a desert inspired skin, or an animal to be a desert like animal. So maybe something to be like a tiger or a secretary bird or something like that. Okay, so that's there. You can't see the fence line from there, which is good. Sorry, I'm not doing a very good at keeping up with chat. Hey Fletcher, I have an idea for how to decorate the Shunny Lagoon. Go ahead, Rory, what's your idea? Tapejara and Dimorphodon need to have their diets changed. I agree with that, Gajira, yep. Dimetrodon with maybe colours close to the Gila monster. Atrociraptor pack. Suchomimus. You guys have a very interesting idea of what is considered nothing too exorbitant. I definitely think that Suchomimus is a bit much for this area. I'm thinking something like that's not necessarily carnivorous. Something that it would be okay for people to get up close to. We don't want them. Don't want the electric fence too close to the path. Let's just grab. Whoops. Grab that. Was it this one? No. I mean, that sort of size enclosure is probably big enough for some. There's quite a few different animals, and if we keep it to herbivore, we can, you know, dispense with the double fencing need. So, Styracosaur. You know, someone who has a Gila monster as a pet. That is very cool, burger. A big ass Lystropack, one of the small ornithopods with ostrich style colours. Dimetrodon hunts Lystro. You know, I'm sure Lystrosaurus was never that small. In the Walking with Monsters episode, the Lystrosaurus looks sort of like a good meter or two long, but the Lystrosaurus in this game looks like mega tiny. So I don't know if anyone knows offhand, like, the size of them. Lystro is about dog-sized. Wow, okay. Because I thought Walking with Monsters, it was a lot bigger. It seems a lot bigger when it's up next to something like the Chasmatosaurs, which someone has pointed out to me this week is actually now a poster something or other. They're not called Chasmatosaurs anymore. Basically, it's the junior synonym is Chasmatosaur, but I prefer Chasmatosaur. I think Chasmatosaur sounds cooler as a name, personally. I'm having real trouble getting these to lay in there properly. Actually, it doesn't have to be those. How about... well, something like this. Which way round would it make sense for these to be? If you're going to stand under them, Probably this way around. Okay. And then how tall would it need to be to give us... Ah, that's a problem. It doesn't have a wall on that side. Yeah, okay, that's not going to work. Proterosuchus, that's the one. Yeah, I just don't think that's a particularly good sounding name. I think Cosmatosaur is just sounds cooler. But that's an entirely subjective position to have. Okay, let's move that to there. Let's move that one to there. Let's have that one roughly in the middle. And then we'll put in maybe... Oh my lord, if that was just a little bit wider. That looks stupid. Well, that kind of works. Or maybe... Actually, what about that one? Okay, chat. What do you think? Do we go with the... the standard wall section, or do we put the raptor wall section in here? What do people think? Raptor wall, standard, fossil wall. Fossil wall, fossil wall. Fossil wall seems to have it then. Okay. Fossil wall it is. That's better. It's a bit straighter. There we go. Okie dokie. So what do we actually, let's put the amenities in. So I'm thinking let's go for slightly larger ones down here since it's a slightly larger area. Let's have food sort of... I quite like the idea of the food place overlooking the dinosaur enclosure. So I'm thinking have it sort of there. Then put it just a little bit away from the edge. Sort of there-ish. So it can look over at the dinosaurs, and we've got a bit of an area out the front. And then we can just do the same with the others. So let's do drinks next. And let's say, do we want the drinks building to be directly there? No, I think make the drink building sort of there-ish, maybe. Yeah, so it kind of looks like they're the same building. Don't worry, Rory. We will get to designing the enclosure in a sec. I just want to do the laying out of like the general structures first. which is what I always do. I like to make sure I've got the basics in first. And then we can do the rest of it. It's going to annoy me that that's not quite in the right spot. That's probably better. Yeah. Right, so what sort of habitat are we going to have for the Shonosaurus / Ichthyosaurus / whatever we decide to put in here? What sort of biome are we going for? Coral reef with some rocks. Tropical coral. You could use the fossil walls and Kaizui toolbox to close off the rest area of the lagoon, leaving a gate for the reptiles. Do you know how many pieces we need to use for that, though? These lagoons are really big. We'd need to make a lot of wall pieces for that. I feel like rocky with a tiny bit of coral, including one island covered in plants. We'll put an island in with plants on. That's I like that idea. Maybe we could actually. I quite like the idea of having the island above where the dome is. So like combining. Oh shoot. I really don't like the camera that, you know, the changes they made to the camera a few patches ago. It's very frustrating. Because you can get caught up on so much shit now. It needs to be moved over more. Will you let me leave the lagoons? Jesus. Oh, I see. Oh, that's really bizarre. It's... yeah, okay, that doesn't work. Okay, what we'll do then is we'll have the island where the rest area is. Like, we'll have like a... we'll join a couple of islands together. And we'll turn this into like a desert island. I would say a massive coral reef. Rory, what's your idea? Make the map of Hawaii with the islands. I don't know what the map of Hawaii looks like, to be honest. A ship graveyard. I think Rory's got an idea. I'm just going to wait and find out what his idea is. That's in a really bad position right there, isn't it? I'm just going to move that over to there. So one end is filled with coral, but the rest is open ocean. Okay. Like there's a shallow part. Oh, I see. I mean, it's kind of, there's kind of like a natural ridge here. So I quite like the idea of having like patches of coral all where it's sort of raised up. Maybe have like a bit of a coral reef here. And then have it fade into like some rocky bits around the other areas. Fletcher, a little alternative idea. Russia never sold Alaska. I believe that's actually been done by the Alternate History Hub, which is one of the channels I do occasionally give a look. Right, so, okay, let's put in some of this coral then. Let's do... A little bit of lining it up. And then let's put in some of the rockier bits of coral. And then let's grab some smaller. And then where's the really big, where's the big coral section? I can never remember which one it is. It's that one. There it is. Maybe put another tall one in there. And then what I might do is have like a couple of smoky pillars here and here, just to sort of indicate it's like the edge of the reef. And then in the rest of the areas, we'll just place down some rocks. So where we've got some light, let's just make this like a little bit of a rock feature. With maybe like a sunken boat or something. And then let's put some sort of rocks around it. Maybe, let's see, just like a random, like, cage. And where are the bubble ones? There they are. Just like the idea of having it surrounded by bubbles. It's like a one of those actual aquarium treasure chests that lift up when it's got too much air in it. Yeah, and we can leave the lagoon area pretty much as it is, actually. Yeah, we've got a bit of a coral reef here. And I think you should be able to see it from the lagoon viewing thing. Let's... which side of the lagoon are we on? Yeah, so you can actually see some of the reef from the lagoon. So that actually works quite well, I think. Let's put in some lights. I think we'll have a couple in here, but not too many. Put a couple in amongst this slot as well. And then here I'm just going to put like, again, like 2. Just so that we can have some colour. So here I think we'll go with like red. That looks good. Here I think I quite like a sort of a blue, maybe a lighter blue than that. I want something that's kind of like quite ghostly blue. That works. And then in here, we'll just go for all range of colors. So we'll go green, pink, red, go green again, and we'll do like a purple as well. Just to make the colors, let's go with the blue there, and pink there. Yeah, just to give the reef some coloration to it. Fletcher, have you seen Oppenheimer? No, I haven't. I do want to. You know, obviously being a history buff and such, it would be interesting to me to see how accurate it is, and also to see sort of what viewpoint they're going on his work, because obviously in recent times the sort of the development of the nuclear bomb and its utilization is one of those topics which I know quite a few people have some strong opinions about. So it would be interesting to see sort of what part of the line they're falling down on. Hello, Glitzbog. Welcome to the stream. I'm just going to lower this one because it's sticking up a bit. Excellent. I think we could do with some like really bushy bushes here. I'm also thinking we should have like a really prominent decoration on this. That was a bit much, wasn't it? On this mound. So let's have some ideas for a prominent sort of decorative feature that we could have on top of there. Something that people are going to be able to see from probably here, because that's... Fletcher, what does the game still need in your opinion? What's the number one thing it needs now? I think the number one thing this needs now is a new building set that is not facility orientated. Like, we need a new building set, so, you know, complete buildings, amenity skins as well, decorative items as well, that is not like the DFW or Malta or Biosyn set. It needs to be something that would look good in a tourist-focused park. Yeah, we could have a statue there. I was thinking of something a little more basic and just putting in like the Jurassic Park gate, to be honest. Megalodon, but as a food source for other aquatics. Oh, that would really annoy all the Megalodon fans, Gajira. The Jurassic Park torch stands. I mean, they're a bit short, which is why I was thinking about the gates, because obviously the gates you could definitely see from up there. Like, so from back here, I mean, you'd see that flaming gate right there. I think that works quite well. Maybe a statue under the door. We could put a dinosaur statue in under the door. How about... I know what we could put. Where is it? There. Have like it, you know, sort of a Quetzalcoatlus has landed on the island on a break from flying, and he's just keeping an eye out for some fish. I do want to give this some lighting, so I'm going to... God damn it. Shite. It's not going to let me raise it up. Interesting. Because it auto sits to the ground level. Interesting. Surely it doesn't over this though. No, it does. Okay. Do we have a prominent lighting feature? Trying to think. Maybe the bias in ones? Maybe one of... Maybe a bias in one. Maybe just do our best to hide it. If I put this one in the tree. Dominion 2, The Revenge of the Arthropod. Ooh, sorry, just moving. Do you think Universal are going to continue out of the dumpster fire that is Jurassic World Dominion? Or do you think they have something else in mind? Honestly, I think they have something else entirely in mind. And I would not be surprised if it's remaking the original movies. Because I think that's the only thing that they can do now. I think one of the problems that they have with the Jurassic franchise as it stands is that they've kind of written themselves into a hole with Jurassic World. They can't just uncapture all the dinosaurs and put them on an island. They've released them into the wild, and by releasing them into the wild, they've kind of screwed themselves. So I think the only thing they can do is like go back to the beginning and so I think I want to put something down on the top here. Maybe the flags? I think the flags work. And then I think along this edge, we'll have like the fountains for water purification. Yeah, I'm just going to add in some more. There's a moth in my room. Try and add in some more ginkgo, but naturally it isn't having it. So in that case, I should just have to put some things in manually, maybe. I'll try and connect up these. No. I'm happy to leave them as they are. And then the last thing to do is obviously I want to put the monorails in above. So I'm thinking go for Oh dear, that didn't work very well, did it? Ugh. Okay. Can we just go with flat pieces? Why is that? Oh, I see. Okay, we really need that roofing. We really need some roofing pieces, to be honest. Something that we could use as a roof would be a nice touch. We'll leave that as is then. I think that's okay. I mean, it's not massively decorative, but we want this bit to be like the open ocean, don't we? No, I think what I'll do is I'm gonna add some rocks to this edge, just to make it look like these are sort of combined. There we go. Oh, and obviously we need the fish feeders, don't we? Fish. I'll put the fish feeder very near to the viewing dome so they get a good view. Thank you, Rob. Can we have Nothosaurus in here, says Rory. I want the Nothosaurus to be somewhere different. I want this one to be like a mixed paddock for quite a few, for a couple of species. Changed my mind. Jurassic World Dominion should never have happened, and instead should have been a live-action mini-series where each episode is in a different part of the globe, Jurassic Worldwide. That does sound more interesting. Okay. So, I know people were suggesting Shonisaurus and Ichthyosaurus, and I know people were suggesting Ichthyosaurus and Prognathodon. Does Prognathodon eat from the fish? Does. I think I'm tempted to go with the Shonisaurus and the Ichthyosaurus, just because they're related, but obviously two very different time periods and two very different animals. I do know that I think for this one I want to go with the black and the blue, because I thought that was a really decorative skin. I think we'll go with 3 Shonisaurus and the rest will be Ichthyosaurs. I think the Ichthyosaurs will have as just randomized colors, because I think that works quite well for them. I like it when you make a lot of curves with the paths and get such an organic flow. It's something I'm trying to do more often, because there are some in the Jurassic World Evolution community that do it a lot, and I always think it looks great. But then I never really do it myself. I tend to stick with sort of straight lines, so I am trying to do it more with this particular park. I mean, over here, I think we obviously need to decide what we're going to do to connect up the aviary. But this down here is a bit straight, but obviously we've got the dinosaur to fit in there. While I'm waiting for those animals to be mass produced, I'm just going to create our guest area. Let's be a little bit of a... There we go. Good. I think the Shawnisaurus are ready. 1 and 2. And we'll whack it onto fast forward so then you can get in there quite quickly. And while we're waiting for them to be delivered, I'm going to adjust that for one, because that's in the wrong place. We are pleased to welcome a Shawnisaurus to the park. Something like that. And we'll make sure this is not an upstairs building. I still think the announcer in this game is not as good as the announcer from Jurassic Park Operation Genesis. I still think the Operation Genesis lady had far more grandiose sort of voice and actually this can be a slightly smaller entrance because there's actually, I think there's a stairway. Yes, there we go. So that works. And let's do... let's put more seating out the front as well. And let's make this leisureware. People aren't eating leisureware. Let's make this burger. Here is an idea for a park. It's basically split in thirds, T, J, and Cretaceous. You basically have all T species in that area, 10 J species in the J area, 15 C species in the C area. C-section, I'm so mature. My younger brother was born by C-section, actually. There were some complications with his birth, and they had to get him out. Everything's okay. Mum's all right, and my younger brother is okay. But yeah, it was certainly a very stressful time. Let's make this a smoothie. And then for this... thatch? Yeah, I'll go with the thatch. And this one we'll put bias-in lights in front of. And we'll make it a bookshop. I like a good bookshop. So the Shawnisaurus are in there, and let's have our ichthyosaurs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I hope they're going to get along all right. Which Triassic period animals would you like to see in the game? Plateosaurus and Rheogosaurus, which are the two big prosauropods of the time period. I believe Staurikosaurus is also Triassic. Symbospondylus, I would like to see. Tanystropheus, I would like to see. A proper life, like a proper realistically sized Dilophosaurus, I would like to see. And I think probably my most unusual one that I would like to see is Euparkeria. And actually, I'm doing a video on I'm picking 7 dinosaur species I would remove from the game and replace with something else. And I would replace the compies with U Park area. Because U Park area for me is more interesting. It's about the same, well, it's a little bit bigger than compies. But U Park area is more interesting. You can do more with the animations. I just think it's a better animal all round. Dilophosaurus is Jurassic fletcher. It's late Triassic to early Jurassic, Rory. There is some remains at a sort of late Triassic period. Oh, and there's Eoraptor as well. Yes, I forgot about Eoraptor. The venomous Theracephalians. They were only venomous in Walking with Monsters. Whether they were actually venomous or not is still up for some debate. I think we're going to make this section of path slightly wider. And the same down here. And then we'll turn this into like a display of some description. So that's going to be a display. I want these ginkgos to come off this area here and kind of just outline the edge a bit. That's nice. Just to give a little bit of shadow to and shade to the guest area so that they're not going to be in full view. Oh god, it's the army of identical helicopters. For the longest time, I used to think Shawnee was Cretaceous. I think there is a sort of a general sensation when it comes to dinosaurs and other prehistoric animals. The sort of the older the animal gets, especially the further through the time of the dinosaurs you get, the bigger the animals get. There is, I think, that preconception, because obviously you start with something like Coelophysis and you end with something like T-Rex, and I think there is that sort of idea that the biggest animals were the latest animals, and actually when it comes to the aquatic animals, they go through a very strange process, because the ichthyosaurs start out massive with things like Shonisaurus and Symbospondylus, because basically nothing is around to eat them. So they grow to huge proportions and they go really big. And then when the plesiosaurs and pliosaurs evolved during the Jurassic period, the ichthyosaurs become smaller, and the pliosaurs and plesiosaurs grow to really big sizes. And then in the Cretaceous period, the mosasaurs come around and basically replace the plesiosaurs and the pliosaurs, becoming the biggest animals in the oceans at that point in time. The aquatic animals go through a very weird thing during the Mesozoic period. Shall we name our Shonisaurus? Since they are our big animals. I'm not going to name the ichthyosaurs, but I think our Shonisaurus deserves some names. So let's have some name ideas. Leviathan. Okay, so we're calling one Leviathan. One we'll call Willie. And Doug. Doug it is. Oh wow, this one is awfully close to that viewing gallery. But obviously, I think let's give a. Where's? Hang on. Is there only three viewing areas for this? Let's switch to NVIDIA Ansel. Oh, he's this guy's just like looking at the security camera like, hello. He's more interested in the security camera watching him than the Shonisaurus outside the windows. I want a good shot of this. Snap. Okay, let's see if we got a better shot from this side. Doesn't... Oh, yes, we do. There we go. Look, there's a nicer view of the Shoni from this one. Always take advantage to get some nice screenshots. That's quite nice view. Yeah, there's the weird glitch with the water. Okay, let's let them... Oh, look. See, I think we need more animals like this in the game that are just like family-friendly, gentle giants. Like, I know everyone loves the big mosasaurs and the big T-Rex and the big Spinosaurus and all the big hunter-killer dinosaurs, but actually, I kind of prefer these guys. You know, the friendly, gentle giants that'll just delight the youngsters. Because they're lovely. Oh, he's off fishing. Oh, there is one of them. Again, we can at least walk around the whole thing with Ansel. That's quite a good view. So NVIDIA Ansel is actually really interesting as well for walking around the insides of the buildings they create, just so you can see the sort of detail that goes into them. Like, you know, the warning labels, fire exits. This one, children must be supervised at all times, no photography. Like, there's benches in here as well. Like, why can't we have these sort of benches as placeable items? I feel like they would add something to this. It would be nice to be able to place benches wherever we like. Orcus blimpticus. I like it. Different aquatics should have different preferred levels of the lagoon. Guys, what do you think come next this year for JWET? Honestly, I mean, the next thing they have to do is a big expansion, because we haven't had one for a while. And I'm not sure what they could do for it. I mean, well, I am. I mean, I came up with loads of ideas for my CEO video, but I know that Frontier just doesn't have the same imagination. Like, look how long it took us to get aquatic animations and a lagoon viewing dome, for example. Kind of want the ichthyosaurs and the shonisaurus to be close together so that we can have like a... I know it's cheating, but if I just pick you up and move you over here... I know it's cheating in order to get a screenshot, but I think it will look quite... Ah, you're a bit... Okay, I need you to be Shonisaurus. Shonisaurus. I need you to be a bit higher in the water. I think you need to be a bit higher in the water still. That'll do. Right. That's better. And like, if we just slow motion this. Yeah, that's nice. I'm liking this. You have the ichthyosaurs playing in their lagoon. Kind of. That's a cool sort of... I like that sort of style of image. Just like... where it looks like you're kind of looking through the waters. How does it look over here? That's an interesting one. Sorry, I'm getting distracted taking screenshots. But anyone who makes YouTube thumbnails knows that you have to have lots of screenshots so that you can make thumbnails. I think that works quite nicely, though. Nice little exhibit. So, what dinosaur are we going to have in here? Fletcher, I cheat also, so my best screenshots. Feel free. Thank you, Rob. I mean, most of my screenshots, I'm defending myself, but most of my screenshots are taken just as stuff happens. I don't generally cheat very often with screenshots, but if I see an opportunity like I did there, I'm like, just adjust it slightly. Nigersaurus. I like the idea of Nigersaurus. I think that animal works quite well for down here. It's relatively, small. It's not going to be too dangerous. Yeah, Nigersaurus sounds like a really good idea. Name one the land blimp. Okay. Let's make the environment first. I think I'm just going to stick like... Actually, I think I'm going to have the water at the front of the exhibit. So like the water is kind of keeping them in, as it were. What do you think in terms of habitat? I'm obviously thinking it's going to have to be quite deserty, isn't it? Actually going to place down some sandier stuff, and I'm just going to roughen it up just a bit. So we have like a area of rough-ish ground. Oh, did that just... Oh, that hyper smoothened it. Maybe I need to make the slope less. Yeah, that's a bit better. And I'm just going to stick some plants in here, I think. Make it like a rough planted area. And then I think what I'll do is have like some rock features with some dedicated plants. Yeah, that's why I did that again, ECAT. So I know a lot of people want a Cenozoic expansion. I don't. I think one of the problems with wanting a Cenozoic expansion is that I think the game would just become too much like Prehistoric Kingdom in that regard. I also don't see Universal letting them. Because obviously you're then interfering with sort of their stuff. I mean, I think it would certainly make them money. And I think it would certainly be something that I wouldn't necessarily begrudge them doing. But at the same time, I'm kind of would rather they don't. I don't have much interest in Cenozoic animals, if I'm honest. I mean, I have a few favourites, like anyone does. But I would rather them stick to Mesozoic period animals. Yeah, Smilodon is the only one that's technically canon at the moment. I mean, it doesn't necessarily have to be canon. But I do think that Universal would probably have something to say about them putting in more Cenozoic period animals. Not that I wouldn't love to see a T-Rex try to take on a mammoth, but if I want that, I can just watch Prehistoric Park again. I do know that I wanted to review... I promised to review the, Walking with Beasts, Walking with Monsters, Prehistoric Park episodes, etc. for the channel. I know I promised to do that after watching The Last of Dinosaur with Stephen Fry. Problem is, it's just a really long process to do. So I haven't gotten around to it yet. But I haven't forgotten, and it will be done. I should probably maybe make it where are we, August, maybe make it like a September thing to actually get the walking with stuff done. At least get the walking with dinosaurs bit done. I suppose we do have humans in the game, and they are mammals, so yeah, it counts, I suppose. That being said, I have known many a human that are barely above the level of microorganism at times. Read into that what you will. Let's put in some cactus. Let's put in a couple of big palms. Oh, you guys are busy tonight in the chat. It's nice to see. The planter shows the terrain is uneven. Oh, ever so slightly. It's alright, we'll just adjust it a little bit. I would find it funny if Ireland joined the Axis just to take Northern Ireland towards the end of the war. I think the Irish would have something to say about that, ECATS. You're lucky that Dane is in bed at the moment because he's got work in the morning. Dig down a couple of these into the ground. In a minute, we'll go and pick out some skins for the Nigersaurus. It'd be nice to have some mangroves or something. I've just realised I've got pretty much one colour of tree around here, so... Oh, where's... I know what we can put in here as well. Where's the dead tree? There it is. Put in like a dead tree here. Why did it... Did you just see how much it removed there for that dead tree? That's preposterous. Why did it remove so much? That was really bizarre. Okay, and these guys do provide ground fiber, which is nice. And I'm gonna stick a little bit of, not too much fibrous ground cover down here, because I want it to remain quite deserty. Maybe just place down a few ferns and aloe vera. Honestly, I would love to have this big bushy palm as a placeable tree. I don't know why we don't, and this aloe vera. Honestly. Yeah. If you want to put in like an actual viewing building up here. Maybe viewing log? Or dome? What about the log? Oh, that might work actually. Have like the log like that. Or have it You know what? No. I'm not going to force visitors to watch them. Like, they can just view it through the fence. That's what it's there for. Right, I'm going to quickly save, and then we'll go and look at some skins for the Nigersaurus. I shall get a notepad document up so I can note down which one people suggest. Average English versus Irish debate. Oh, me and Dane take the mickey out of each other's cultures all of the time. It's just what we do as people in a relationship. Hey chat, is there a single building set that has both modern-ish and more random or ancient-looking buildings? I would just use the world biosyn set with the mortar set, but I'm on PS4. Honestly, I think the only way you'll achieve that is with the mortar set, to be honest. The mortar set is the only one with buildings that look fairly run down, with some modern-ish elements to them. Right, species viewer. I'm just going to have some more Pepsi and vodka. Delightful. There it is, Nigersaurus. There's the chonker. So there's some nice patterns here. Give me some ideas, folks. What do we want? Quite like the idea of these guys having a color set that's quite sort of... We wanted it to have something that makes them look like they're from the desert, didn't we? I think tan with the bright blue. Yeah, the problem with that is it doesn't really show up very well. And there's not a way of... Yeah, even the light tan doesn't show up very well. Grey body. So Svalbard. I mean, Svalbard works quite well with the black as like a reverse zebra. Or light brown. I mean, I really like this red. This red and... I don't know, I quite like the red and sort of the white outline. I think that works quite well. I think it sounds very interesting, Bo. I mean, I love alternate history scenarios. It's like something I ponder on. And it's a technique I used in my classrooms as well, as a history teacher. Get the kids to think of what the consequences of an alternative of an action might be for the future. Okay, so this one seems to be good for people. So mangrove forest and pulcrana. And let's do, so that one's quite dark. So let's have one that's quite... I feel like getting one to work with a great sandy desert would be nice. This is, none of the colors really show up too well apart from the black again. Which one does the blue actually work the best for? Because I do like the blue. Yeah, the skins have to be dark for the blue to show up. That's a bit disappointing. I still wonder what caused furries to become a thing. Well, if you want to, if you want to think about anthropomorphism in general, I mean that's been a thing since the time of the Egyptians and even before. People have been, you know, sticking animal body parts onto human bodies for centuries. I think furries themselves date back to was it 1920s, 1930s, something around that. I know it's been around for a lot longer than people realize. Um, donk. Hey Fletcher, don't tell Dane, but the Brits invaded Ireland. Yes, I know we did. He still hasn't forgiven me. Right, so Nigersaurus. Hatchery offline? Why is the hatchery offline? Oh, because it's not connected. So the British still have a semi-intact empire. um, no, the empire's gone, and we can blame America for doing that. Mangrove forest and Porkrana. And Sonoran Desert and Pelophylax. Like a Maori or African bug with that Nigersaurus skin. Yeah, I think people don't realize just how nice some skins on these animals are. Especially Nigersaurus. I think Nigersaurus has better skins than a lot of other dinosaurs, especially the ceratopsians, actually. Wait, Fletcher, how can you blame America for the fall of the British Empire? So, the short answer is that part of the America didn't want Britain to have sort of overall control of its ports. So America forced Britain to basically make its ports free ports so that American trade could go to those countries. And from then on, it was a downhill slope. It should also be noted that America was also the only nation in the world to come out of World War II richer than when it had gone in, with no infrastructure damage whatsoever. And repaying America for its World War II assistance, Britain was still paying off that debt because of the interest that was put on it. We were still paying off that debt until the 2010s. I believe it was something like 2012, 2014, something around there, where we actually finished paying off our debt to the USA for World War II equipment, which is ridiculous, frankly. Pleasure. I have no idea if there is a third member or not, but it would be perfect if they're Scottish. It would be perfect if they were Scottish. Well, actually, no. We would have to get. We would need me and Dane, so that's England and Ireland. We'd need someone from Scotland and someone from Wales, and then we would have all of the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland represented by the channel. It's not Wales land, is it? I petition that Wales changes its name to Wales Land just to fit in with the rest of the British Isles. And I don't think that's scary, Barger. I think that's entirely consistent with the way things could have gone. I think 4 Nigersaurus works for an area this big. Don't want to make it look too full up. They eat ground fiber, which every plant in here provides, which is perfectly fine. Excellent. How long have we got left? About 20 minutes. Well, in that case, I'm going to basically finish off this area. I wanna finish off this area so we don't have to come back to it and do any more design work. Think I want to create just like a few. I always click on the wrong one for bathrooms. No, don't like that. Let's do. Let's continue that tower theme I had. Honestly, Kyadenic, please update your fences mod soon. I really miss having fencing that I can just put around stuff. I swear these streams are just World War II podcasts with dinosaurs in the background. Jacob, I can't think of a better podcast to do, frankly. Dinosaurs in the background of World War II chat. There's simply nothing better. I want to kind of make sure this area is kind of separated. I don't want people sort of staring in this way. So I'm going to put down some rocks. Yeah, just to separate this part off. What's happened there? Okay. That was a bit bizarre. Huh. I'm going to put just stick down some sort of fountain here. Let's go for the big boy. I'm going to stick a nice fire post in it. Let's have some chairs around the edge. Somewhere nice to sit in the shade of that tree layer I've put down. And just for a little extra detail, I'm going to place down a security camera. I quite like the idea of imagining this as like, you know how sometimes on beaches you can get those coin-operated binocular things? I quite like the idea of that being something similar, like you just like stick a quid into the machine and you can look through the binoculars at the lagoon and at the Nigersaurus and stuff. Bye-bye, Rob. I am in immense physical pain by the corner in that circle. It's a bit annoying, but we'll just ignore that exists. I think this area we're going to turn into seating as well. Maybe like a waiting area for See, if I had a window that I could put there, I would put a window in there. But I don't, so I can't. Actually, someone did point out that you can use the lagoon logs, and if you sink them down, apparently they do act as a window. I just want to see how that actually works. Yeah, I don't understand how that guy managed to get that to work. Where's the viewing dome, actually? The dome is larger, isn't it? So maybe that works. Does that actually... Oh, that looks very bizarre, doesn't it? I'm just... yes, I do. That was very weird. Oh well. We'll just stick some trees along here, actually. And then we'll stick in some seating. Always make sure you have plenty of places for people to sit in your parks. You will not believe how many times I've been to a theme park and there's just been nowhere to sit, and it's just been frightfully annoying. Because if you have nowhere to sit, you can't like eat stuff, you can't just rest. Oh, it's one of the most annoying traits about some theme parks for me. That one is a bit far away from the edge. Right, and then I want to make this like its own little display. So I think what I'm going to do to begin with is surround it in wall sections. And naturally it doesn't go all the way up to the end. That's what the little pieces are for. And yeah, we can use the middle here for a little display of some sort. Hello Owen, welcome to the channel and welcome to the stream. Jacob is starting his villain arc, indeed. Hey Fletcher, how do you feel about the fact that in my timeline Russia is a bunch of smaller countries? Well, I think it makes sense. I mean, Germany used to be a bunch of smaller countries. It's personally how I think America is going to go. I think America will not stay united forever. I think just talking to all of my buddies that live in America and all of the problems of how the wider country operates in with the state system, I just don't see it lasting. I think eventually it will split up into a series of larger countries. And I'm gonna put in like a fountain. And let's put in some dinosaurs here. Let's see, what should we go with? I mean, should we make this display, considering we've got dinosaurs going in? Actually, we'll put the dinosaur statues of the dinosaurs we've got in the lagoon above it. Where is S for Shonisaurus? Shonisaurus statue. Okay, so there is a Shonisaurus. And we need some ichthyosaurs. So ichthyosaurus. Actually, I don't like that. I wish there was a flip it control. I wish I could like mirror some of these. Okay, so there's our ichthyosaurs. And then let's grab our Shonisaurus. And have like one there and one there. And let's lower this one. And let's make this one a little bit taller. And then to make it look less weird and less like they're floating in midair, these the biosyn pieces work really well for that. There's one. Actually, let's give you just another one towards the back, so it looks a little bit more stable. There we go. And then we're going to place down some lighting. And then I think, I mean, is there a grass tool that looks reasonably like a coral reef or something? It looks seagrass. I suppose that looks seagrass-ish. And what we'll also do is we'll place down some actual like sea rocks and stuff. Because I mean, they could just, the plants and that could just be made of plastic. It's not a, I don't think it would be unbelievable to see this sort of thing be made of plastic in the park. And anything that does have any fish around it. I know there are a couple which do have fish swimming around them. Like any that do sort of seem to have fish swimming around, I'm just going to give it like blue lighting so it looks like it's that holographic stuff that we saw in the Jurassic World film. There, I think that looks all right. Let's just see if I can put down some more seagrass. It won't let me. That's not too bad. The biosyn pieces look somehow church-ish to me in a way, so I always struggle to incorporate them. I think they work. I think some of the biosyn pieces work quite well. Let me just sort out the lighting, and we'll have, just in the last few minutes, we'll have a look at. Oh, I think that worked. That's very nice. We'll have a look at those biosyn pieces together. Oh, that looks nice. I like that. Right, so let's just save this. Nice. So, biosyn buildings. So obviously you've got like... So I quite like how the Fossil Center and the the hatchery all have these rounded elements. I think they look very modern, and I think you could use them as other buildings. So you could easily use this fossil center as something that's not a fossil center in your park, just with a bit of imagination. The fact that they all have moss-covered roofs as well, I think, makes it look nicer for the park as well, eco-friendly. What other buildings are in here for the Biosyn? Oh, the Biosyn. So these staff center buildings, I love. I think these staff center buildings look really nice. And what I have done in a few of my other parks is I've used them as like scientist accommodation, because they sort of remind me of the sort of thing you might house students in, or like scientists who are staying at the park. These are just like little sort of 2 or 4 bedroom dormitory like things where they could stay, because they have quite a nice, like, centerpiece and everything. So those work quite well for that. What other buildings do we have? The response facility, I think, is the nicest one, because again, you have that nice round helipad. The Biosyn chopper, I think, looks quite nifty, and actually the Biosyn Jeep with the titanium cage around it, I think the Biosyn Jeep is the nicest looking Jeep in the game. So I actually think that's the nicest one. Everything in the game is too gigantic, I do accept, but I think that it's better than Jurassic World Evolution 1, that's for sure. The Biosyn Vet building, actually, I think it looks quite almost like a prison. I think with this exercise yard in the back. I mean, you could say it's like an ACU training facility. So they've got like a sports area out the back, and this is for training ACU staff. If you were going to like have a whole area devoted to training ACU people. What other Biosyn buildings are there? I don't think there are many other Biosyn buildings, are there? Because most of them... Oh, you've got the bunker, obviously, which could also work as like a staff dormitory or something like that. But apart from that, yeah, we don't have anything else for the Biosyn. So that's your lot. Oh, we have the expedition center, but that's... Actually, I quite like the Biosyn Expedition Center as well. Mostly for like the train tracks and that really big chunky radar dish. Bunker looks like a warehouse. True, it could be a nice warehouse. And obviously we do have the destruction ability now. We can make our buildings look destroyed. So you could, build a post-Dominion Biosyn Valley and just destroy the buildings a bit, or something similar. I think this looks quite good, though. I mean, there's still a little bit of work to do down here. I've got to do something with these 2 grey bits, continue the vegetation around here, put in some individually placed trees, probably put a fence in here. Just because I don't want to keep using decorative pieces, because this is a very long piece of path. So I'll probably put a fence in there. Or maybe just some rocks. We'll see. But I think this is looking really nice. Our orcas are nice and happy. We got a nice lagoon viewing dome appeal, 2043. Getting quite nice scores all round. We have our lovely little island there. Yeah, I think it's looking good. And we have our little centerpiece. Look how many people are down here. Again, we got a little bit of frame rate chug there. Definitely, the frame rate chug definitely seems to be related to the number of guests in the park in one particular area. They definitely need to sort that out. And yeah, we have our little Nigers here, which I think add a nice little flair to this part of the park. So it's looking good so far, I think. I'm going to save here. There we go. Take some screenshots for thumbnails and obviously for the channel Reddit and the Twitter as well. Next week there will be the usual video. I'm going to try and get it out a bit earlier because I didn't like the fact the video wasn't up until Friday this week. I'm going to try and have it done by Wednesday. Don't know which one I'll do yet. I've got like 10 ideas for videos. I'll probably do one that's reasonably easy to make. So I will hopefully have that out on Wednesday. Next Sunday, I will probably not stream Jurassic World as I kind of want to take a break from dinosaurs. So I might play some War Thunder, or I might play something else. I shall have a think. But I want to thank everyone for tuning in with me for this stream. Ecats, who has been here for a long time, Barger, Owen, who has popped in, Frogstitch, what a name, As Darker Day. Why would I want a break from dinos? It's not necessarily a break from dinosaurs as Darker Day, it's a break from Jurassic World Evolution 2, because if you just play it and play it and play it and play it and play it, you get burnt out quite quickly. So to avoid burning yourself out on games, always, don't just play one game all of the time. Switch it up a bit with a couple of others. It helps keep your mind fresh, gives you ideas. But like I say, there will be Jurassic World Evolution 2 content in the week, so there will be dinosaurs, just not on stream. But yeah, I want to thank everyone for tuning in with me today. I will see you guys next week. Don't forget to give the video a like, subscribe if you're new here and you haven't already done so. Join the Discord if you haven't already done so. There should be a link in the description down below. Give us a watch on Twitter. There should also be a Twitter link down below. And yeah, I will see you guys next week. Until then, enjoy the rest of your Sunday. Stay safe and good night.